We saw Matt Moore at the end. This guy was out of football all last year, coaching in high school here in California, got called up, hadn't played a game in 2 years, has the big performance, leading them to what proved to be the game-winning field goal. And we'll take a look here. Andy Reid calls on Harrison Butker to kick the field goal, but Andy couldn't watch it. He just would listen to the crowd and see what happened. Yeah. He was able to celebrate.
And don't blame him.
You know, we were watching this, and Kurt leaned over to me and said, "Can Andy Reid coach or what?"
Right.
How many coaches could take a guy off the street in California, coaching high school football, and put him in and win a big game? This was a huge game against an excellent Minnesota Viking team.
You saw the adjustments they made last week in a losing effort versus Green Bay, and you say Green Bay coming in and, no Patrick Mahomes, and the numbers were very impressive for him last week. They got some people back at the skill spots. I think that's a key. Their defense has played better. Steve Spagnuolo's done a great job without all his bullets, and, he's brought a lot of pressure. So I think it just shows what a great coach he is and how quarterback-friendly that offense is.
You know what they did, too, that I'm really impressed by? You talk about Tyreek Hill, you talk about Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins. They got weapons galore as far as the receiving position. But Damian Williams, the running back, he had 123 yards today. That is big time to me because if they can get that running game going, to go with those skill players, man, that's Andy Reid, that mad scientist on offense. Like, oh, my gosh, what can I do? I can just spread this ball around, run the ball. There's nothing you can do to stop it. And when Patrick Mahomes gets back and they get their left tackle back, this team, huge win for them today.
But when you looked at it, watching the big catch by Watkins with one hand, you watch the big catch by Tyreek Hill at the end of the game to move it.
Yep.
All their big players, Jones had a monster game on the defensive line, especially in crunch time. All their big players stepped up and played as if they knew we have this quarterback and we have to help him. And they did just that. And Tyreek Hill, 20th touchdown of 40 yards or more.
It's unbelievable.
The next closest guy, he has 11 more than the next closest player.
And he's covered.
2016.
He's covered.
Unbelievable.
As much as you can cover him.
He's covered. And the throw that Mahomes made 3 weeks ago to him on the goal line, Patrick Mahomes had no business making that throw.
Hey,
he had no business
it's
making
like
that
the
throw.
Aaron Rodgers throw.
Right.
No,
this is different.
He was talking about the running game and all the big players stepping up. Michael, I'll ask you this then. Are they the biggest challenge still? Because we thought at the start of the season for New England. And we said, okay, Mahomes got hurt. The defense wasn't playing that well. The defense has stepped up the last couple of weeks. They're running the ball now, and we're seeing the skill guys. Are they the big challenge?
You saw the running game today. We haven't seen it consistently all year long, and Tony said it right. Now they got a running attack. Obviously, it fit the Minnesota Vikings scheme and what they were doing. That's the reason they were able to break the line of scrimmage, and then they were gone. To Howie's point about defense, we've all said this all year. If they can just get their defense going, this offense is explosive. And we saw that today. So running game came around, defense came around, and this is a good Viking football team.
But
so are they the challenger?
Well, the thing is with KC, we say that, but you almost have to play a perfect game. What they put together today, you have to put that together against the Patriots, which is so hard because that is a team that operates well under pressure. No other team operates as well under pressure as the Patriots.
Now, what are the Patriots built to do?
Oh, play defense.
They're built to play defense against who?
Against Kansas City.
You got it.
That secondary is...
You hit that right on the head.
Hey, let's talk about a team that has also turned it around here, the Philadelphia Eagles. You look at the way they performed the last couple of weeks. Yeah, they gave up some points after having a big lead today. But have they straightened out their problems? Have they gotten back to being who we thought they would be at the start of the season?
I think if they just forget the drama, maybe they get Peters back. They found the kid at running back who's really become Sanders become a dynamic player for them. Their defense is coming around. They got their 2 corners back. They get a bye now. They get healthier for the stretch run. And if you look at the schedule, these were games they had to win, and now they'll have Dallas on the back end. They're 1 game out of first place in the NFC East. At one point, we were kind of writing them off. I mean,
but I don't. Do you believe them? I mean, this is not the same team we saw 2 years ago, certainly not the team we saw last year. This team doesn't quite have – I look at them, and I'm not exactly believing in them yet. They've won 2 in a row. They beat Buffalo. Then they won today against the Bears. Bears a bad football team. Even Buffalo was a bad football team, and they hadn't played anybody, and we were all hollering about their defense.
Buffalo came that close to beat New England.
I know.
That
But
close.
if they can establish the run, the last couple weeks, even Carson Wentz came out and said it. We got to run the football, and they had over 30 combined runs today, which shows they're committed to it, and it makes everything else better. And because they control the clock. How about in that first half? I think the Chicago Bears had the ball 9 minutes. I mean, they could complete. If you can dominate the clock, that's how you win football games.
Nine minutes.
But they have the ball.
Are they done? Is it time to write the Bears off?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I just don't think that this quarterback position doesn't seem like it's getting better.
It's
It is
chaos.
It's either flatlined or it's getting worse. And I think in this league, in order to win, you need consistent play out of your quarterback position, and that's just something they don't have. I mean, Trubisky looks like he's lost at times, which you would think he was going to progressively get better in this offense as the years go by. And now
He has,
it looks like he's on the decline more than
as the leader of that football team. His job is to handle all the nonsense outside, all the negative that his job is to mentally be focused and to be strong between the ears. You got to be strong when it's all going bad, and you lift an elevator everyone around you, and you take charge. Yeah. And I don't see him taking. He's a nice guy. I want you to love.
You want him to do
he's
well.
a wonderful guy.
He says he's
but I
in front.
want him to show a little bit of meanness and nastiness about it, because it takes that to play quarterback.
All right, State Farm moment of the day. Tony Gonzalez.
Are you serious?
Not even waiting until we get to commercial to start eating. Look at this.
Look at you, pig.
This was the last break. I mean, literally, the last break, we start saying go to break, and he starts eating. That's our moment of the day.
My
a good
man
sandwich.
eats like he's walking the Green Mile.
It really is impressive. And look at that. He doesn't look like it.
It was a good
No.
sandwich.
It is impressive. All right, let's get back to you want to talk impressive. I don't know because it was against the Jets, but congratulations, as you said. The Miami Dolphins get their first win of the season. And one thing we've seen from them, Michael, week in and week out, if they're tanking in the front office, the coaching staff, whatever, these players play hard.
Yeah. They play really hard. It is tough. I mean, it's people don't understand how tough it is when you're losing. You got to get yourself up for the next week and the next week. When you know your team's not going to make the playoff, your team's not going to go anywhere that season. But a lot of hats off to the Miami Dolphins, their players, especially their coaching staff, to keep these guys motivated to go out there and play. And Howie, I'm sorry you picked the Jets today.
Yeah, and they're gonna have about 42 draft picks and about $150 million in cap space next
You said
year.
42 drafts?
Yeah. Right now, I think they're on pace for 42.
You can tank. You still got to get those draft
You ever
picks
been
right.
on a bad team, Tony?
I have, Terry. And it's not a fun thing to be on. Yeah,
You've
come
all
down to
been
it.
on 'em. I've
No,
been on
I've been on him, and when you're down there, when you are losing, it's exactly
Tough,
as you
man.
said. You got to find a way to scratch and claw and go deep and say, okay, I got to go play for this reason.
But the benefit is they're in Miami. Being in New York on a bad team in the wintertime and you're in that stadium and that wind and rain, that snow is hitting you sideways, I wish I was in Miami.
One real quick one here. I'll ask you, Howie. The Buffalo Bills, they get the win today. They're 6-2. And again, it's a bad Washington team. But does this feel any different than we've seen Bills teams get off to good starts prior?
You know, I'm not sure if they're 6-2, KC 6-3, Houston 6-3, the Colts are now 5-3, Baltimore's 5-2. It's kind of a clutter there. The question I have is, can the quarterback take the next step? I like the running game. I like the way the defense plays. I like their effort. Of course, last week wasn't great. This week bounced back and played well, and the quarterback needs to work. And the conditions, as you mentioned, playing quarterback in Buffalo this time of the year, there's a reason why Jim Kelly was good up there, because Jim Kelly had a cannon. This kid has a cannon too, but he's got to find a way to hit the big throws, because right now the accuracy's not there on the big throws. That's the missing piece for them. Right. If they get that, they're a pretty good team.
Buffalo is not set up for that. They're not set up to drop back and throw with 5 receivers flying all over.
No. I'm talking about off a play-action pass in a run formation.
They got to
hit the home run.
They need more weapons than what
the way
they
their
got,
defense plays
sure.
right now, at least, they don't have to do that. You mentioned the jumbled-up AFC. We'll definitely keep an eye on Jacoby Brissett's injury and how that shapes out things for the Colts as they move forward. We check out what is going on all around the interwebs and social media and some entertaining responses to the early games that we've seen so far, including a note that the Dolphins PA system was playing the Ghostbusters song for Sam Darnold. He's going to have a hard time living that down, isn't he? Seeing ghosts. Also, looking around, we saw Deshaun Watson posting on his own social media, like Mike. Remember when he came out of college?
That looks sweet.
Yeah. And last week, John Gruden also said he looks like Michael Jordan. But this is my favorite. Tyreek Hill, when the ball to snap, he's gone. That's what it looks like if you're a defender trying to stop the Chiefs,
$1 million
I think.
man right there?
That's good.
Somebody who's fast.
$6 million man.
$6 million? Was it
Yes.
$6 million?
Yeah, and that was in the 70s. Imagine what he'd be worth today.
Now it's that's $1 billion man.
Yeah, exactly.
The Kansas City Chiefs right now,
get
with
that
them
out
on
of
offense, doing what they've been able to do so far. We know about the weapons, but it's the defense that I'm excited about and what I saw today. Chris Jones, he gets my game ball today because if he can play the way he did today, putting pressure on that quarterback, and with Frank Clark coming back, this is a team, I'm going to say it right now, I think they're going to play in the Super Bowl this year. They will beat New England. They won't lose another game this year.
I think you got confused because you over here giving out game balls. We don't give out game balls.
They won't lose another game this year?
They won't lose another game?
I think because Eric Fisher's coming back, Patrick Mahomes coming back, Frank Clark's all coming back.
Carday.
I think they're gonna run the table.
Hey,
let's play it back.
That's your thoughts. That's good.
Thought. I've seen you do this. You make predictions.
I don't know what happened with 12 Pro Bowls, and you came up with that?
Yeah.
Okay. My final thought. My final thought. You know, I got to say, let's give a game ball out to Christian McCaffrey. We're going to hand out game balls. I mean, you know, for Carolina Panthers to go through what they've gone through, such a high-profile quarterback in Cam Newton who goes down, and this young kid, Kyle Allen, steps in, and this team kind of come together around him. And, you know, we talked about MVPs earlier in the show today, and Christian McCaffrey's name came up off my lips. And I got to say, this kid just continues to amaze week in and week out. And you say, Howie, he does not come off the field. And I played with his father. We all know his father, Ed. Tough player, and that's been passed down to his sons. The Carolina Panthers just hanging strong in that division.
You know, he'll move
up
quickly, Michael, in the lead in total yardage now with 146 rushing today.
Was it last year with the numbers he had talking about Pro Bowls?
It didn't make it.
He wasn't even an alternate.
I know. Isn't that something?
But they
How's
say
that happen?
you always make the Pro Bowl a year later than you should, and you stay a year later than you should have.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
Howie?
I think everyone, with the Colts loss today, Houston steps up, Baltimore at 5-2, Pittsburgh at 4-4. I think everyone in the AFC's kind of alive, and Philadelphia, they've been written off, and now they're above 500, and they're one game out of first place, and they've got Dallas coming to Philadelphia later in the season, so there's a chance for them to get right.
So what's the final thought?
There's two.
That's a lot of math.
No, that's a good. That's
a good thought.
It's a good thought.
Yeah.
Just lost.
Tied it all together.
Don't book your playoff tickets yet. That's what
I
he
would
said.
think I'm going to throw love out to Fitzpatrick, the quarterback at Miami.
Right.
God bless him, man. This guy put up
Going
3
through a lot.
touchdowns today. I just love him. The fact that he's still out there playing, and Miami gets.
He thinks he can make every
yeah,
throw.
and he's chewing gum and he's smiling. And I'm telling Kurt, man, that's how you play football right there. And then Christian McCaffrey, once again, as you said. Guy's having an amazing year. Should be strongly consideration right now, halfway point for Player of the Year.
He does that, and hopefully he'll make
They
the
call
Pro
that
Bowl.
the MVP.
There you go.
Is that what they call it?
My final thought is I wish I could consume the amount of calories that Tony Gonzalez does and not show it. This is him going to dessert during the last break.
No, Kurt.
I got more out here.
That was salad.
Oh, he left a couple. See, that's wrong.
It's good. It's good.
But hold on, that was salad. This is his dessert. He has a brownie with some. What is that?
I got a lot of food back
How
here.
do
You
you
guys
eat
ever
all
get
that
hungry,
food
let me
and stay
know.
so skinny?
This is good.
You
Anybody
may
want
need to
some?
get medically checked out because the amount of food you eat,
You got a worm in you, boy.
something's not right. It is amazing, folks. You can get to see Tony, I don't know about eating, but
good.
doing the football thing coming up on Thursday night.